Our story is about a president. A president is a very important person. A president is the leader of a country. This president's name was Thomas. President Thomas was a very good man. He was not young, and he was not old. He had kind eyes. His eyes were blue, like the sky on a sunny day. His hair was gray, like the color of a soft cloud. He always had a warm smile on his face. A smile is when your mouth is happy. President Thomas smiled a lot. He was the president of a big country. He lived in a very big house. The house was beautiful. It was painted white. So people called it the Big White House. The Big White House had many, many rooms. It had big windows to let in the sun. Around the house, there was a beautiful garden. The garden had green grass. It had many tall trees. It had flowers of all colors. There were red flowers, yellow flowers, and blue flowers. President Thomas loved his garden. Every morning, he liked to look at the garden from his window. President Thomas was a good president because he loved his country. More than that, he loved the people in his country. He loved the men, the women, and the children. He worked hard every day for his people. He wanted everyone to be happy. He wanted everyone to have food. He wanted everyone to have a home. He was a kind, good man. But President Thomas had a problem. It was a big problem with his body. His legs were not strong. His legs could not work. He could not stand up. He could not walk. He could not go to the garden and walk on the green grass. He could not walk through the many rooms of the Big White House. To move, President Thomas needed a special chair. The chair had wheels, 2 big wheels on the back and 2 small wheels on the front. This special chair is called a wheelchair. His wheelchair was black. The seat was soft and comfortable. He used his strong arms to push the big wheels. He could move around his office and his room in his wheelchair. This problem made him sad sometimes. He wanted to walk. He wanted to run in the garden with the children, but he could not. Still, his heart was strong. His mind was strong. He continued to work hard for his people from his wheelchair. He was still a great leader. President Thomas had another problem. This problem was not with his body. It was a sound, a very loud and terrible sound. Every day, all day, there was a sound. Bang, bang, bang. It was the sound of a hammer. A hammer is a tool used to hit things. The sound was very loud. In the morning, when the sun came up, the sound started. Bang, bang, bang. It came through the big windows. In the afternoon, when he tried to work, the sound was there. Bang, bang, bang. It made it hard to think. In the evening, when he wanted to rest, the sound was still there. Bang, bang, bang. The sound was always there. It was like a very bad song that never stopped. The sound made President Thomas feel very tired. It made his head hurt. He closed the windows, but he could still hear it. Bang, bang, bang! It was a very big problem. He felt like he was under a big, heavy hammer. Life was very difficult. President Thomas was not alone. He had a family. He had a sister. His sister's name was Maria. Maria was very different from her brother. Thomas was kind. Maria was not kind. Thomas loved the people. Maria did not love the people. Thomas was happy with simple things. Maria was not happy with simple things. Maria loved money. She loved expensive things. She loved big cars and beautiful jewels. She looked at the big White House. She looked at all the beautiful things inside. She did not see a home. She saw money. She wanted everything. She saw that her brother, the president, was weak. He could not walk. He was tired from the terrible sound of the hammer. She thought, "My brother is weak. Now is my time." One day, Maria came to the big White House. She did not have a warm smile on her face. Her face was cold. She went to the president's office. President Thomas was in his wheelchair by the window. He was looking at the garden. He heard the door open. "Hello, Maria," he said with a small smile. "Brother," she said. Her voice was not friendly. "You are not well. You cannot walk. You are tired. You cannot be a good president now. I will help you. I will take care of all your things." President Thomas was very sad. He was very tired from the bang, bang, bang sound. He did not have the energy to fight. Maria smiled a cold smile, and she started to take everything. First, she took his beautiful desk. The desk was in his office. It was a very large desk. It was made from dark brown wood. The wood was shiny and smooth. The desk was very old and very beautiful. President Thomas did all his work at this desk. He wrote important letters to other leaders. He signed important papers for his people. It was his desk of work and duty. Maria called two big men. "Take this desk," she said. The men lifted the big, heavy desk. They carried it out of the room. The president's office now had a big, empty space. The beautiful brown desk was gone. Next, Maria took his big office chair. It was not his wheelchair. It was a different chair he sometimes used when people moved him. It was a very comfortable chair made of black leather. It was soft and good for his back. Maria pointed at the chair. "Take this too," she said. The men took the comfortable black chair. The comfortable black chair was gone. Then Maria looked at the walls. The walls of the big White House were covered in beautiful paintings. A painting is a picture made with paint. President Thomas loved the paintings. One painting was very big. It was a painting of the sea. The water in the painting was a deep blue. You could see white waves. It made him feel calm. Another painting showed big mountains. The mountains were tall and covered in white snow. The sky in the painting was orange and pink. It was a beautiful picture of the sunrise. Maria did not see beauty. She saw money. "Take all the paintings," she ordered the men. They took the paintings off the walls. The painting of the blue sea was gone. The painting of the snowy mountains was gone. All the beautiful paintings were gone. The walls were now empty and white. They were sad walls. After the paintings, Maria went to the library. The library was the president's favorite room. The walls of the library had tall shelves. The shelves were filled with books, hundreds of books. Books with red covers, blue covers, green covers. There were books about history, the story of the past. There were books about animals, from the big elephant to the small mouse. There were storybooks with great adventures. President Thomas could not walk, but in his books, he could go anywhere. He loved to read. Reading made him feel happy and strong. Maria looked at all the books. "Put them in boxes," she said. The men brought big, empty boxes. They took all the books from the shelves. They put them in the boxes. The books about history were gone. The books about animals were gone. All his wonderful books were gone. The shelves were now empty. The library was just an empty room. Maria was not finished. She went to the president's bedroom. She took his bed. It was a big, comfortable bed with a soft mattress and warm blankets. The men took the bed apart. They carried it out. The big, comfortable bed was gone. She took the small table next to the bed. It was a simple wooden table. On the table was a lamp for reading at night. She took the table and the lamp. They were gone. She took the big, soft rug from the floor. The rug was red and warm for the feet. Now, the floor was cold and hard. The beautiful red rug was gone. She went to his closet. A closet is a small room for clothes. She opened the doors. She took all his clothes. She took his nice suits that he wore for important meetings. She took his comfortable sweaters. She even took his shoes, even though he could not walk and did not need them. She put everything in big bags. All his clothes were gone. She went to the kitchen. She took the big wooden table where he ate his meals. The table was gone. She took the chairs were gone. She opened the cupboards. She took all the plates. The white plates were gone. She took all the cups. The coffee cups were gone. She took all the forks and all the spoons. Everything was gone. She even went to the garden. She told the gardener to dig up the beautiful flowers. The red flowers were gone. The yellow flowers were gone. The garden was now just green grass and dirt. Finally, she took his car. It was a big black car. It was very long and shiny. The seats inside were made of soft white leather. The president used this car to visit the people of his country. Maria took the keys. She drove the car away. The big black car was gone. The big White House was now an empty house. There was nothing inside. No desk, no chairs, no paintings, no books, no bed, nothing. It was just a big, empty, white box. And inside, there was only President Thomas in his wheelchair. He was all alone. President Thomas sat alone in his wheelchair in a large, empty room. The walls were white and bare. The floor was cold and hard. The sun came through the window, but the house felt cold. He was very, very sad. His heart was heavy, and the terrible sound was still there. Bang, bang, bang. It felt louder now in the empty house. But the story does not end here. The people of the country loved their president. They heard the news. They heard that the president's sister, Maria, took everything. They heard that the big White House was empty. The people were very sad for their president, and they were very, very angry with his sister. One woman said, "Our president is a good man. This is not right." A young man said, "He worked so hard for us. Now we must help him." And so the people decided to help. The next day, a man came to the big White House. He was a carpenter. A carpenter makes things with wood. He brought a small table and a simple wooden chair. He put them in the empty room. "Mr. President," the man said, "this is not a big desk, but it is a place for you to put a cup and a book." President Thomas looked at the man and smiled. It was a real warm smile. "Thank you," he said. Then a baker came. A baker makes bread. He brought warm, fresh bread. "For you, Mr. President," he said. A group of school children came. They did not have money. They did not have furniture, but they had paper and crayons. They drew beautiful pictures, pictures of the sun, of flowers, of happy families. They gave their pictures to the president. "You can put these on your walls," a little girl said. President Thomas took the drawings. He put them on the empty white walls. The rooms did not feel so sad anymore. More people came. One family brought a warm blanket. Another family brought a simple bed. A young woman brought a book of stories. She sat and read a story to him. A group of neighbors came and planted new flowers in the garden. The big White House was no longer empty. It did not have expensive things. It had simple things, but all the things were given with love. The house was now full of kindness. The house was now full of friends. And what about Maria? She had the big, shiny car. She had the expensive desk. She had all the beautiful paintings and all the books. She lived in a new, big house filled with all of the president's things. But she was not happy. She was all alone. No one visited her. No one spoke to her. When she walked in the street, people looked away. She had many, many things, but she had no love. She had no friends. Her big house was just a cold, lonely place. And what about President Thomas? He did not have his expensive things anymore, but he sat in his wheelchair in a room with simple furniture and children's drawings on the wall. He was surrounded by his people. He was surrounded by their love and their kindness. He was not lonely. He was very, very happy. He learned that the most important things in life are not things you can buy. The most important things are love, friendship, and the kindness of people. He was still the president, and now he was happier than ever before. And the sound of the hammer? One day, the people found where the sound was coming from. They talked to the man with the hammer. They explained the story. The man understood, and the sound stopped. At last, there was peace and quiet. So that is the end of our story. It was a little sad in the middle, but it has a very happy ending. The good president learned what is truly important in life. You did a wonderful job listening to such a long story. I am very proud of you. Keep practicing your English every day. You are doing great. Goodbye for now and see you next time, my dear students.